Investiture of the Gods, Chapter 52.
Chapter 52 of Feng Shenyanyi. That's the Investiture of the Gods.
And we're focusing on the final desperate hours of Grand Preceptor Wenzhong, Taishi Wenzhong.
Yeah, it's really a deep dive into failure. But, not just military failure. Wenzhong is maybe the most famous, loyal figure in the whole Shang story.
He started out huge, didn't he? Colossal armies.
Oh, yeah. But we join him right when everything's collapsed. He's down to just a few thousand soldiers. Starving, desperate, it's grim.
Leading finally to that masterful deception, the one that sends him right to Zhulong Ridge.
And that desperation, his loyalty, that absolute unshakable loyalty, that's the key thing the zoo strategists are banking on. It's what they exploit.
So he could have escaped earlier. He had powers, right?
He did. He had his own supernatural abilities.
Right.
He probably could have just zipped back to Choj alone after the yin-yang mirror incident, for example. But the text really hammers this home. He refuses. He won't abandon his men, the last few loyal soldiers.
He's carrying the weight of the whole dynasty.
Exactly. And that virtue, his loyalty, it becomes the trap, both physically and psychologically. It's quite ironic, really.
So he's cornered. His only option, or what he thinks is his only option, is to retreat to Qinglong Pass. He picks a route via Huanghua Mountain, trying to find walls, regroup.
A moment to breathe.
Yeah.
But the moment he sets that course, well, the net just tightens instantly. It's this relentless, orchestrated pursuit.
Let's get into that. They don't waste any time.
Nope. They haven't even gone half a day, and bang, first roadblock. And it's not just soldiers they send. It's like celestial hitmen, making sure there's no way out.
And who shows up first? It's Neza, right? On his windfire wheels.
Yeah, Neza, and he doesn't mess around. He just declares right there that this spot is Wen Taishi's place of return to heaven, Gitianzidi.
Wow. That's instant psychological warfare. Before anyone even draws a weapon, talk about pressure.
You can almost feel Wenzhong just snap. He fights with this visible fury, this desperation, and his power flares up his third eye and starts shooting golden light.
He's fighting like a cornered animal.
Totally. And he's got his four main guys with him, his core command. Deng Zhang, Xin Quan, Ji Li, and Yu King. He's trying to protect them, trying to hold something together.
But these aren't just any officers, are they? There's inner circle.
Exactly. The heart of his strategy, his loyalty structure, and the losses are immediate. Brutal.
How quickly does it fall apart?
So fast. Neza, in this kind of celestial rage, just starts dismantling that structure. Ji Li goes down first, spear thrust, quick. Then Deng Zhang, often seen as Wenzhong's shield, right? The guy he really trusted. Neza uses the cosmic wheel. The Cancun Quan hits him hard, knocks him off his horse.
Oh, man.
And then falls up with a spear. Deng Zhang's gone, too.
And there's something really significant the text mentions right after they die, isn't there? About their souls.
Yeah, this is fascinating and kind of chilling. It highlights what this war is really about. The source says straight up, the souls of Ji Li and Deng Zhang immediately head to the platform of Investiture of the Gods, the Feng Shentai.
So it's not just they died in battle?
No, it's like a cosmic receipt is issued immediately. Their fates are sealed, locked into this heavenly mechanism that's working against the Shang. Even in death, they're instantly part of the enemy's, celestial bureaucracy.
That is chilling. So Wenzhong's reeling from losing two commanders.
Barely has time to process it. He's forced to flee again, now with fewer than 10,000 soldiers, probably completely demoralized, and he runs straight into ambush number 2.
Led by Huang Tianhua this time.
Right. And Huang Tianhua, he skips the battle tactics talk, too. He just lays it out. Your efforts are useless. Heaven's mandate is fixed. Tian Ming Yi Ding.
Imagine hearing that. You're not fighting soldiers, you're fighting destiny itself.
Exactly. When Zhang fights back, of course, he uses his single whip. His remaining generals, Yu King and Xin Huan, rush in to help.
But Huang Tianhua changes tactics slightly. Uses some deception.
Yeah, maybe learning from Neza's direct assault, he pretends to flee.
Baiting them.
Totally. He lures Yu King, who's probably desperate for revenge after seeing his friends fall, into chasing him. Then Huang Tianhua just turns, whips out the fire dragon spike, and bam!
Yeah.
Yu King is killed instantly.
Another one down. Another soul heading to the platform.
Right. And Xin Huan, the last general standing from that core group, he gets hurt badly. Huang Tianhua hits his flesh wings with the heart-drilling nail.
His wings, so he can't fly or fight properly anymore.
Exactly. It neutralizes his key ability. So Wenzhong has lost pretty much every senior officer he started this retreat with. He's forced into another panicked flight southeast this time with heavy losses.
The physical battle is just dissolving at this point.
It really is. 4 key commanders gone, boom, boom, boom. And now the focus shifts, doesn't it?
Yeah.
From the battlefield outside to the war raging inside Wenzhong's own head.
Yeah, the text puts it so starkly. It says he has not a piece of armor remaining, which is such a contrast to his reputation, right? The invincible Grand Preceptor who'd supposedly never lost before this.
It's a massive blow to his identity. The defeat isn't just external, it's this deep internal humiliation, and it needs an outlet.
So he stops, finds a moment, and turns to poetry.
He does. Which, in classical Chinese literature, is often the sign of ultimate emotional distress or reflection. He writes this lament. He acknowledges his soldiers are finished, basically. Says, time and fate are hard to predict.
But he still holds on to his core belief.
Absolutely. That's crucial. He reaffirms his motivation. His red heart of loyalty. Wei guo dan xinzang bu yi. He blames cosmic bad luck, the heavens, fate, anything but his own loyalty or the Shang cause itself. That remains untouchable for him.
And that despair, that exhaustion, it makes him vulnerable, doesn't it? Ripe for the next stage of the attack.
Perfectly ripe. The Zhu forces, or rather their celestial allies, know exactly when and how to twist the knife. That night, while he's trying to rest on this high mountain, the psychological games really start. Illusions.
Okay, what kind of illusions?
First, he hears cannons. Terrifying sounds echoing in the night, instant panic trigger for exhausted soldiers.
And then he sees something.
Yeah, he sees his archenemies, Jiang Ziya and King Wu, just chilling, drinking wine on the mountaintop, mocking him, asking him what happened to all his years of heroism.
Wow, that's personal. A direct hit on his pride, his reputation.
It absolutely is. They're not just trying to wear him down physically. They're attacking the very core of who he believes himself to be.
And his reaction.
Well, his mind is already frayed, right?
Yeah.
Loss, betrayal, exhaustion. He snaps. He charges up the mountain, desperate to fight someone, anyone.
What, they're not really there?
Nope. They vanish. Poof. Then he looks down and sees a phantom army surrounding the base of the mountain, yelling for his capture.
So he charges down.
He charges down, and they vanish too. The text says he does this multiple times, charging up, charging down. Total confusion.
Is this like battle fatigue setting in, or is it purely the magic forcing him to do this? Because if it's exhaustion, that makes it feel, I don't know, more tragically human.
I think it's really both, and that's the nasty brilliance of this kind of celestial warfare.
Yeah.
The illusions definitely stop him getting any sleep, which makes the exhaustion way worse.
Right.
But it's more than that. By making the enemy constantly disappear, they deny him any release, any tangible target. It drains his will, muddies his thinking. He can't plan, can't strategize. He's just reacting, being broken down bit by bit. Not by swords, but by confusion and sheer weariness.
Mm-hmm. So he's mentally and physically shattered. He charges up that mountain one last time. Maybe just hoping this time, there'll be a real enemy.
And that's exactly when the final trap is sprung. A real ambush this time. But it's devastating.
Who is it?
It comes from a mountain hollow. It's Lei Zhenzi, the really fierce-looking one. Red hair, indigo face. He just appears and attacks with overwhelming force.
And this attack is significant, isn't it? It's not just another fight.
Hugely significant. Lei Zhenzi's golden cudgel strikes Wenzhong's mount, the Inklin, his powerful supernatural ride.
And it splits the Kulin in half.
This puts it clean in two. Losing the Kulin is massive. It's not just losing transport. It's like losing a part of his power, a symbol of his status. Wenzhong himself barely gets away. He has to use Earth Escape Tuden, a desperate last-ditch magic move.
Leaving Shen Han, his last general, to face Lei Zhenzi.
Yeah, Shen Han, with his damaged wings, tries to cover the retreat, takes to the air to fight Lei Zhenzi. But it's hopeless. He's doomed by a sneak attack.
Another trick.
Another trick. This time it's Yang Jian. A really clever immortal. He sends in his secret weapon, the howling celestial dog.
The dog.
Yeah, the Xiaotianquan. It bites Shen Huan's leg, just for a second, but it's enough.
The perfect distraction.
Exactly. That moment of pain, confusion,
Yeah.
it lets Lei Zhenzi land the killing blow. And that's it. Shen Huan, the last of the loyal generals, falls. It took a fierce warrior, a hidden immortal, and a supernatural dog just to take him down.
So Wenzhong escapes using his magic, comes out of the earth, and realizes he's truly alone now.
Utterly alone, except for maybe a few thousand starving, broken soldiers. He just sits there, the text says, lamenting, and he blames everything on heaven abandoning the Shang dynasty, Tianzhu Chengtang.
And he points to the current king's misrule.
Yes, he frames his own tactical, strategic nightmare as the result of cosmic judgment brought on by the king's failings. It's the only way his loyal mind can process his total defeat, you see. The fault has to lie with heaven and the ruler, not with the cause he serves.
It preserves his loyalty, even in ruin.
Precisely. But then, amidst all this high-level celestial drama and despair, there's this brief moment, a really human moment.
What happens?
Well, they're starving, desperate. His remaining troops stumble into this little village. Really idyllic bamboo fences, thatched huts. And an old farmer there, Li Ji, he just helps them.
Helps them, knowing who they are.
It seems so. He gives Wenzhong and his men food, shelter for the night. Just simple human kindness in the middle of this brutal war.
That's quite a contrast, a moment of peace.
A fragile moment. In that hut, maybe Wenzhong isn't the grand preceptor for a minute. Just a tired, defeated soldier grateful for charity. It's the calm, right before the final, cruelest twist.
The setup for the end.
Exactly. Because the next morning, Wenzhong needs to find his way. He still thinks he can get to Qinglong Pass. He asks a passing woodcutter for directions.
Just a random woodcutter?
Seems like it. Simple guy carrying firewood. Wenzhong asks the way to Qinglong Pass.
And the woodcutter points him southwest, towards a white crane mound.
Yep. Simple directions, seemingly helpful. Wenzhong, probably desperate and maybe letting his guard down after that moment of kindness, just accepts the advice, takes the path offered.
It wasn't just a woodcutter, was it?
No. And this is the killer reveal in the source. The woodcutter was Yang Jin, in disguise.
Yang Jin again, the clever one.
The master of deception. He deliberately pointed Wenzhong towards the one place he absolutely should not go. Zhejiang Ridge, Dragon Ending Ridge.
He guided him straight to his execution site. Sounds ominous.
Oh, it is. And Zhulongling isn't just some random spot on the map. The sources make it clear this was a meticulously chosen killing field. The Zoo Immortals didn't just find a place. They picked terrain so naturally dangerous it basically amplified their magic.
Let's get into that description because the way it's written, it sounds almost impossible to even get through. It's called Perilously Steep. Wei Zai Junling. Loads of sharp peaks, sheer cliffs.
Right, and these features called the Tiger Head Stones, which just sound menacing.
And the environment itself is part of the trap, right? Thick clouds, mist everywhere blocking your view.
Exactly. Deep streams cutting through gorges. And there's this description of a waterfall plunging, get this, 1,000 miles, Yishi Xian Bai Lai. Probably an exaggeration, but it paints a picture.
It's so bad the text literally says, crows and sparrows find it hard to fly there. It's designed to trap you, confuse you.
Utterly disorienting. So when Zong gets there, takes a look around, and the sources are clear. He's suspicious. Kenshi Hiho, deep doubt stirs in his heart.
Makes sense. He's a seasoned general, a powerful Taoist. He knows trouble when he sees it.
He does. But, and this is crucial, even that suspicion wasn't enough to overcome his own, well, maybe arrogance, his belief in his own power.
So the trap unfolds. What's the first move?
It starts kind of diplomatically, strangely enough. An immortal named Yunzong Zi from Yuzu Cave is waiting for him. And importantly, Yunzong Zi isn't acting alone. He's under orders from the senior immortal Ran Deng.
Okay, so what does Yunzong Zi say?
He basically gives Wenzhong an out. He flat out tells him, this place is Judai, absolute ground, fatal ground. He advises him to surrender to save himself.
And Wenzhong, knowing him.
Yeah, he just dismisses it completely. Total confidence. He's like, look, we both know Taoist magic, the 5 elements. You think you can fool me with this kid stuff? He sees it as a cheap trick.
Big mistake. That dismissal, that arrogance is basically the trigger, isn't it?
It flips the switch on phase 2. Yeah. The actual physical, well, spiritual trap. Once Wenzhong crosses that line, Yunzong Zi hits the trigger, a clap of thunder.
And then?
Then these things erupt from the ground. 8 enormous pillars, the heaven-piercing divine fire pillars. Teng Tian Shen Huos.
How big are we talking?
Over 30 feet tall each. And not just randomly placed. They're set up precisely according to the 8 trigrams. You know, Qian, Kan, Zhen, Zan, the whole set. It's spiritual geometry aimed at total destruction.
And the fire. The sources get specific here, don't they?
Yeah. It says 49 fire dragons, Hulong, burst out of each pillar.
Wait, 49 times 8.
Nearly 400 fire dragons made of pure spiritual flame, all converging on them. Looks like overkill, right? Looks like the end.
You'd think. How could anyone survive that?
Well, here's the twist, the key detail from our sources. That overwhelming fire. It wasn't actually the main killing mechanism.
Really? The 400 fire dragons.
Wenzhong was ready for fire. He knew the incantation to avoid fire, Qi Ding Bi Huoju. He's engulfed in flames, but he's actually laughing, thinking, fire arts. Escape techniques. You can't fool me with this. He's confident he can handle it.
Okay, so if the fire doesn't get him, what's his escape plan? He's a Taoist master.
Exactly. His go-to move is spiritual travel. He thinks, I know how to escape the ground essence, and he tries to shoot straight up using his escape light, his Dunguang.
Let's pause there. Dunguang for listeners, what exactly is that? Is it just flying?
It's more than just flying. Think of it as personal spiritual transport, maybe like instant teleportation or kind of light speed movement only these really advanced figures can do. It's his way to bypass any physical barrier.
So his plan is activate Dunguang, zip straight up, leave the fire and the whole ridge behind. Simple.
Should have been simple,
Right.
but this is where the Zhou strategy was brilliant. They knew he'd try that. They anticipated his exact move.
So how did they stop someone moving at like light speed? What countered his ultimate escape?
The fire was just the setup, the net forcing him upwards. The real killer, it was the lid. As Wenzhong powered up his Dunguang to ascend, thwack, he slams into something invisible.
What was it?
Yunzhangzi had secretly placed Ran Deng Daoist's personal treasure overhead, the purple gold alms bowl, Zijinbo Yu.
An alms bowl, like a begging bowl.
Sort of, but this is a powerful spiritual artifact. In this context, it acted like a massive invisible lid covering the entire area defined by the fire pillars.
Whoa. So it wasn't the heat that stopped him. It was physically crashing into this spiritual ceiling.
Precisely. He's moving at incredible speed with his escape light, head first into this super dense artifact. The sources say his famous crown, the 9-Cloud-Fierce Slain crown, gets knocked off.
Leaving him vulnerable.
Completely. He tumbles back down, stunned, unprotected, right into the heart of those concentrated fire dragons.
Oh.
That's what finished him. It was the combination. The fire pillars anticipating his escape, and Randang's bowl used as the perfect counter.
Wow. Using his own best technique against him. Utterly ruthless. And that's it for the Grand Tutor.
Physically, yes. Burned to ashes. His soul, as predicted, starts heading towards the platform of Investiture of the Gods.
There's a twist, right? His story doesn't end right there on the ridge.
No, the sources emphasize his loyalty. Even in death, Zheng Jinbu Mi, his loyal spirit, doesn't perish. The King Fu spirit guide arrives with the 100 Spirits banner to guide him to the platform, but Wenzhong's spirit immediately diverts.
Where does it go?
Straight to the capital, Chage. He has one last duty to perform, one final warning to deliver.
To King Zhu himself? This is like the dynasty's last chance, delivered by a ghost.
Pretty much. And the scene is just dripping with tragic irony. King Zhu is naturally partying, drinking with Daji at the Lutai Pleasure Palace.
Yeah.
He drifts off to sleep.
And when Zhang appears.
Yep. His spirit manifests and delivers this 5-point final counsel. It's basically his entire political philosophy condensed into a desperate plea.
What does he tell him? Stuff that the king should have been doing all along, I bet.
Exactly. Textbook good governance. First, practice benevolent rule, Jinshi Renzeng. Second, find wise advisors, Qixin Fuguo. Third, stop the excessive luxury and decadence, Wu Si Huang Yin.
Makes sense? What else?
Fourth, value your ancestors and the state they built, Zhu Zong Shiji. And finally, kind of a philosophical jab, stop ignoring warnings and fate. Renyan Buzu Xin, Tianming Buzu Wei. Basically, listen to people and respect destiny.
This is huge. It's his most loyal general, appearing from beyond the grave, telling him exactly how to save the kingdom. The king must have been shaken, right?
He was startled, yes. He recognizes Wenzhong. For a split second, you think, maybe this'll work. Maybe he'll listen.
But Daji is there.
Daji is always there. And she doesn't need magic for this. She's a psychology. Pure, simple rationalization.
How does she counter a ghost warning?
She immediately soothes the king. Says something like, oh, you're worried about the Grand Tutor, so naturally you dreamt of him. She dismisses it as a dream born of worry, Mengyu Xinzuo.
Wow, just like that. She turns his own concern into the reason the warning isn't real.
Exactly. She weaponizes his grief and anxiety to negate the ghost's message. With that one line, Wenzhong's lifetime of loyalty, his sacrifice, his final urgent plea, all of it just evaporates.
Unbelievable. Political spin defeats supernatural intervention. The fate of the Shang dynasty sealed by dismissing a bad dream.
It really shows Daji's insidious power. It's not just magic, it's manipulation at the highest level.
So, if the ultimate loyalty is useless against that kind of disbelief, what happens next? The Shang side needs allies.
Well, we pivot hard. The narrative shifts immediately to Shen Gongbao, Wenzhong's sometimes ally, sometimes rival, immortal.
And he's not happy about Wenzhong's death.
Furious. The text says Shen Hen Ziyar. He deeply hates Jiang Ziya for this, but instead of, honoring Wenzhong, his immediate reaction is pure revenge. He needs new recruits, fast, and he doesn't seem too picky about who.
Which leads him to Jialong Mountain, Feilong Cave, and this very unusual character.
Right. He finds Tu Xing's son, and the description is memorable.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Okay, he's described as a dwarf, Shen Siqi, barely 4 feet tall, and he has an earth-colored face, just visually very distinct.
Okay. And he's a disciple.
Yeah, he introduces himself as a disciple of Zhu Sun, one of the major golden immortals. Says he's been practicing Taoist arts for 100 years, trying to achieve immortality.
100 years. So Shen Gongbao sees this little guy who's dedicated a century to spiritual practice.
Yeah.
What's the recruitment pitch?
It's brutal and incredibly cynical. Shen Gongbao basically looks him up and down and tells him, flat out, based on how you look, you're never going to achieve immortality.
Ouch. He actually says that. After 100 years of effort, why be so blunt? Why not just tempt him?
Because Shen Gongbao needs to break him. He needs to shatter that spiritual aspiration completely. He attacks Tu Xing's son's deepest desire, immortality, and then immediately offers a replacement. Mortal riches, Ren Jianfuki.
So the pitch is, heaven's not for you, shorty. But hey, how about power and wealth on earth?
Pretty much exactly that. He dangles the prospect of becoming a high official, getting the fancy robes, the jade belt Pai Mang Yao Yu. It's pure vanity, instant gratification, replacing a lifetime of spiritual struggle.
And Tu Xing's son
Buys it. Hook, line, and sinker. Abandons his 100-year path just like that. But Shen Gongbao isn't recruiting him for his looks or his potential political skills. He needs his very specific, very niche magical ability.
Ah, right. The earth-traveling thing.
Exactly. Dixing Qin Li, he can travel underground for 1,000 miles in an instant. Shen Gongbao asks for a demo, and poof, Tu Xing's son disappears into the earth and reappears. He's the perfect spy, the perfect saboteur.
An underground infiltrator. Okay, that's useful.
Very useful. But Shen Gongbao needs more than just the skill. He needs Tu Xing's son fully committed to this new, morally flexible path. So he pushes him further.
How?
He convinces Tu Xing's son to betray his own master, Zhu Sun. Right after abandoning his teachings, he needs to steal from him.
Steal?
2 crucial items. First, the immortal binding rope, the Kunqian Sheng, a really powerful artifact for capturing enemies, even immortals.
Okay, that's a big one. What else?
And second, 5 jars of elixir Wuhu Danyao, probably life-extending or power-boosting pills. Basically, tools for his new career in deception, stolen directly from his own spiritual teacher.
So he goes from century-long disciple to traitor and thief in, what, an afternoon?
Seems like it. Shen Gongbao then gives him his mission. Take your stolen rope, your stolen elixirs, and your unique earth-traveling skill, and go join General Deng Zhigong at 3 Mountain Pass. Get to work causing trouble for the Zhou army.